What's going on, YouTube? Mike here again, along with Chris and Carlos. As you can see, we have a motor right here, and we're gonna do something different. We know Pink Widow and the build that we have in there is not gonna last. A lot of you have been saying, you know, you're gonna miss the Pink Widow, so we're gonna do something right now to keep it alive. The motor that we built in there is only good for like one 10-second run, 2 or 3 before it goes kaput.
It might go a little bit more, but we're gonna keep turning it up until it sees no more.
Yeah, we're gonna send it, guys.
Anyways, we have what? 2 events?
We have 2 more events, okay? We have Midnight Mayhem, the end of November, and then we have Import Face Off in December 2nd in Las Vegas. Those are the 2 events where we're definitely gonna get the Pink Widow dialed in, and we're just gonna send it. We're gonna keep turning it up and until it blows, and we're gonna try to hit our goal. And we know that, you know, the heart is not gonna last, so we have a heart transplant right here.
Brings us to this
Bad boy. So we have a kicker though, okay? The kicker is this GSR long block that we have. We wanted to do a test.
Yeah.
Okay, and the #1 kind of internet myth that we're trying to bust is Chinese-made parts suck. Okay.
Everybody knows it.
Everyone's it's made in China.
That's what people say, yeah. But I mean, so many things are made in China.
Yeah,
everything's made in China. So we're gonna do a test with this one. It's called our Made in China build. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have our first part here. If you guys can see, these are called max speeding rods.
Woo! Woo!
Definitely made in China. It says it has ARP rod bolts in this sucker, and it looks like an Eagle knockoff, but it is made in China, and this is one of the first parts that we're gonna do to rebuild this motor. So the test is we're gonna fully rebuild this motor with all Chinese-made parts. We're gonna dyno tune it, we're gonna turn it up, we're gonna see what it can withstand. So if some of these parts are junk, we're gonna find out ASAP.
Yeah,
we're gonna find out the hard way.
Okay, so we're gonna do a complete build of this, all Chinese-made parts. And you don't even know, some of the U.S. companies, some of the parts are made in China, so we can use those. And the only exception is some parts are not made in China. I've been trying like
Pistons.
I'm trying like my hardest to try to find pistons that are made in China, and
almost impossible.
well, I'm like searching companies to see if they're like made in China overseas or something like that.
Yeah, we'll
but
try to figure it out.
We're gonna try to figure out. So we're gonna boost this Chinese turbo, Chinese internals, everything we can.
Chinese everything.
And we're gonna turn it up and we're gonna send it and we're gonna see what this can handle. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna go ahead and knock into this. All right, guys. So, all right, guys, we are now doing a tabletop review of these max speeding rods. So we know that these rods, they are actually modeled after Eagle rods. So we actually have an old school Eagle rod here, but I think this one's for B16. Is it for B16?
Yeah, B16.
B16.
It's shorter, a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it's shorter. So we can kind of do some comparisons and kind of see what the difference is between the original and the max speeding rod version. We're checking out the max speeding rod, if you can see right here. Looks like it's laser etched emblem onto the max speeding rods. I don't know if these might be the weight of the rod.
Individually?
They're laser etched in. I don't know what these numbers represent. They might be the grams or milligrams or something. I don't know, but I don't think they're grams because this has a setting. So I actually have a scale here to measure. We kind of see the differences of the rod. One is longer than the other one. Longer stroke of the GSR versus the B16. Let's see, let me zero this out on grams wise. So let's check out the weight real quick. So this is the original Eagle rod. It's 526 grams. This actually weighs a little more, I think. Just comparison. So it weighs less than the B16 rods, even though it's longer.
Maybe the material that it's made of?
Could be the material. Well, actually, I believe it's actually the thickness.
Oh, I see.
The thickness of this rod is a little thicker. Measure the thickness This is the max speeding rods. If you look here, 14 millimeters thick. Okay, and then we're gonna look at the original Eagle one, which is close to 15.3. So it's probably going to be an advantage on the original Eagle rod to have the thickness of it's thicker. So
And it's heavier.
and it's heavier. So maybe the material is different. I think it's because of the material in the center. If you kind of can look, there's a lot taken out in the center, like it's deeper in the max speeding rod, and
Not so much on the.
yeah, in the original Eagle, it might be, you know, and that design of that, like that line in the center, it might help with strength. I'm not 100% sure. One thing I did notice though is both of them, they do use ARP rod bolts, but the max speeding rod actually uses a thicker rod bolt. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it around. You can see the thickness. You zoom in, the thickness of the rod bolts. You see the difference?
Yeah.
So the rod bolts for the max speeding rods are thicker. That's gonna be stronger.
Are they both ARP 2000s?
Yes, they are both. Yeah.
Different styles of ARP 2000s. You can see the heads on one of them are a little bigger.
Yeah, it's because of the rod bolt's bigger, I think. And then this one says Eagle on top. You can see that.
Oh, okay.
You see it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's Eagle ARP 2000. It is ARP 2000s as well. So one thing that's cool that I noticed also with the max speeding rod is that you see where there's a break. There's like okay, so if you compare it with the Eagle rod, you can see where the rod breaks. There's like a little lip here I can catch with my fingernail.
Indentation.
Yeah, like where the two halves meet. There's a little, like, you could feel it. This one, it's like completely smooth.
You can't even tell it's there.
You can't even tell, like barely. There's like a barely a line. With this one, you can tell. Not so much on this side. They did a pretty good job, but this one, like you could feel it with your fingernail. It catches. So both of them have, both of them have like. This one is, I think, more. This is lasered. This is like etched in. Might be the weight of the rod. I'm not 100% sure.
Someone in the comments will know.
The designs are actually different. So this is something that they didn't copy. The design of, there's two oil ports. You see the two oil ports?
Yeah.
So there's one on this side and then one on this side. Okay?
Yeah.
So there's two ports so that there's going to get some oiling. Oiling on the wrist pin. So with this one, they have one hole. Okay? But I don't know, maybe because the Eagle one is worn, but if you look inside the center where there's like brass, there's a little indentation in the middle that goes around so that it gives like it can lubricate in the center, like it's not touching, like in the center of the wrist pin, it would be like a kind of like a pool of oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Has anybody seen failure with these? And if so, was it like a spun bearing or was it the actual rod bent? Because that's the only thing is like, did the rod bend? I've seen stock rods bend close to around 400 horsepower, but with these, what is the first thing that you see that usually goes? So if it's somewhere in like the bearing issue or something like that, then I think this is an upgrade because the rod bolts are thicker. We're gonna go ahead and take apart the GSR now and kind of prep and get ready to. Well, we're gonna need pistons for this thing, but we're gonna go ahead and open it and inspect the GSR block right now to check out what we need to order in order to slap these babies on and yeah, fully build that motor for you guys. So let's go ahead. All right, dismantling motor.
Step one.
Step one, take off valve cover.
Don't use an impact.
Well, I never phased Drew before. So we can tell the story about how we got this.
Sure.
Yeah. So we you know, Craigslist find. I think I should have a link to the actual Craigslist ad. We got this complete. It was transmission and motor, everything. It was like a swap. It was like for freaking like $600.
With matching VINs too, right?
Yeah, matching VINs, $600. No. I think the trans and the block had different VINs, but they're both GSR.
Yeah.
So we had this guy like had it in his house for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, just chilling. And he actually put all these napkins and all.
Usually people wouldn't give a damn. They wouldn't block off these passages to make sure something doesn't drop into the
Yeah, it had like,
spark plug or anything.
it has rags in the exhaust. I had them on the intake and exhaust, but I took these.
So I believe him. He said that this had a problem with smoke, but it like, you know, it still ran
The
good.
light smoke.
But
I see why you did it. There's no spark plugs in it.
right? But we're gonna take off the head anyway.
Yeah.
So we're gonna inspect this motor to make sure, you know, we rebuild it. We don't need to do like some random machining or anything like
Pretty
that.
clean, dude. Look at that. This guy changed his oil pretty often.
He said he changed like the valves and everything.
Oh, the valve seals. That's right. He tried the valve seals.
Right?
Deal
That's
with it.
missing a bolt here. I don't know if that's. Did you take it off?
No, that was a. No, did we? Yeah, I think we did for the Pink Widow. I think one of these broke on the Pink Widow, and I think that's why some of these bolts were taken off.
We need a 12 and a 10.
Yeah.
What's up? You
Slide
gonna take off?
the. I was gonna say slide the timing belt off, but it's on there pretty good.
You gonna take the crank pulley off?
That's right. You got the tool. No one ever has that tool.
The crank pulley tool?
Yeah, you wanna
Don't worry, the impact's gonna just knock it right out, fool. I swear.
Think so?
Dude,
That beast.
the beast of the impact.
Sponsor us, please, because we love using your product.
Dude, Milwaukee, we're like total. Dude, is that 19?
Yes.
All right, guys, do you think this is gonna knock off this Honda crank pulley? Just this Milwaukee?
I take it someone already took this apart, so it might just knock it off. Let's see.
Nah.
Oh
Yeah?
yeah. Came right off.
Right off, fool.
Ooh, and you put a Loctite on it.
He put some Loctite on it? No wonder, because it should have just knocked it right off and then not. But AEM cam gears. So these are like notorious for like slipping because it's a 3-bolt. Usually everyone does like a 5-bolt. These ones are terrible. Oh crap!
What happens?
The teeth are eating up. Take out the timing
Look
belt.
at these cam gears. They got some weird wear on
Dude,
them.
I know. I've never seen like a teeth up like that. It's like corrosion or something.
Little pieces missing on this side. Look at that thing.
Put these on eBay for retro. Somebody's gonna tell you you're not supposed to use impact, but
Yeah,
whatever.
and
Whatever.
It's supposed to start from the middle out.
Whatever.
I don't want to sit here for an hour wrenching. All right. So
All right, guys. This is a tip to not do this at all.
you should do this with the belt on if you're gonna break these loose.
We're not gonna use these messed up cam gears.
Yeah, we're gonna use stock ones. So stuffing a flathead in between them.
Are you gonna use impact? Just use impact.
Yeah. All right.
This is a bad idea.
Bad idea. Yeah.
Oh, it worked.
Milwaukee, baby.
Milwaukee, but
You use thread lock on that too. That's cool.
right? Thread lock. I don't know if it's thread lock or this motherfucker put
Smells like thread lock. Oh, silicone. Yeah, you might be
he
right.
put some Honda Bond on this bitch. Cams though.
They're clean.
Clean, bro. Like really, like no.
No scratches. I mean, there's a couple. Not really. There's no scoring.
I've
on
seen worse, bro.
it. Let's see what these puppies look like. The seal just popped right off.
Of course they would. Looks good.
This one got a little bit of wear on it.
Oh, we got a little some wear right here.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, we got some wear.
That was a little too tight.
Little wear right there. Let me see.
Now, that could be either from low oil pressure, or it could be that maybe it was over-tightened. Or, you know what this happens a lot with? When people over-tighten their timing belts. Because what it does is it pulls down the gear on the cam. And,
Oh, yeah?
And it wears the cam. So,
Timing belt?
yeah.
It could be. That timing belt was on pretty tight.
yeah, it was. So if you guys have your timing belts on really tight and you're hearing a weird whining tapping sounds I'm talking about?
I can already see like I can already see right here.
A little bit of a wear. On the
Where
roof.
right there? If you guys can see right there. Reading the ends of the cams. So a lot of people like they buy like camshafts off people. There's like ways to identify if you have like GSR cams, you have B16 cams and stuff. These ones should be
GSRs, but
GSRs. The B16 would be smooth.
so cams are out, and the cams actually look pretty good.
Pretty good.
Are we gonna do a head package on this thing, or are we gonna use just GSR cams, right?
I don't know if they make Chinese cams. I gotta see if like blocks is made all in China.
Oh, and this one has obviously no ARP head bolts. Got the stock rod bolts, and Jesus. I'd expect it to be tight.
Right?
Oh shit.
They did a little extra. They're a little extra. They're like, put some Loctite on these.
These are a lot easier to take off than those ARP ones.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, nice. All right. All right, put it to the side real quick.
I want to, but there's oil in it.
Oh, there's oil in it. Let's check this head out. Well, I can see what cylinder is no bueno. Oh, ooh, ooh,
Ooh,
ooh.
that cylinder got hot, huh? What is this? Either injector or
Let's see here.
that's awfully clean, not awfully mean. Give me some light. Some light. Dude, you can still see the scratches from the cross hone, like when they.
Crosshatch.
Yeah.
Any abnormal?
Any cracks or anything. It's got a little wear on the wall right here on this side, but it doesn't look anything.
No. It's like
Just normal wear. It's nothing
crazy.
unusual.
I mean,
There's no like crazy weird scratches anywhere. This is just an old motor. What do you think that is? That's from running lean or
no. I mean that piston's like.
super clean?
I think it's
Injector issue?
no. I really do think it's either a
Worn piston rings?
yeah. So for example, it could be because this piston's like pretty much. Yeah, just wipe it. It's like 100% clean.
Wow.
The thing looks brand new compared to the other one.
It's got a pretty obvious.
So I see, I mean, if we could see, we're looking at the intake valves and exhaust. If we look at the exhaust valves, there are a lot more carbon buildup on them. There's a lot more corrosion. There you go. Do it slowly.
Yeah, I don't want to get it everywhere.
Lift it up? Yeah, just take it out. Ooh, he did.
Oh, deck's cool, huh?
Isn't that only for like GMs or something like that?
Yeah, aluminum motors, I guess.
I'll always forget.
Last minute, but just tired and just want to get it over with.
Right?
Nice. That was a.
Probably been taken out. Apart.
Ah, they were smart. They siliconed the gasket to the pan, not the gasket to the motor.
Right?
That's actually the right way of doing it, I guess.
Look at here, look at here.
There's no metal shavings or anything crazy in the pan, so I guess that's a good sign.
Alright. Windage tray. Girdle.
And for the guys that don't know, GSRs do come with these B16s.
Who doesn't know that?
Well, some B16s, I've seen, like my B16 had one, but it was an aftermarket Golden Eagle one.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think I saw another B16 with one on there, but I think it was a GSR one, but I'm not 100%.
I think it's beautiful. Look at that.
I've heard people, yeah, no, whoever owned this thing, dude, changed the oil like they were supposed to.
Right? Look how clean that thing is. Like you could look, if you look like And the bottom still looks
Still see
like
the squirters?
fresh.
Yep, it's still got the squirters in there.
Oil
So-
squirters, like the bottom of like next to the oil squirters is still like clean aluminum
Yeah.
down there. I'm zooming in. See, it's like clean aluminum. 13?
Yeah, we're not gonna reuse these anyways. See if these will work. See if this is gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work for this. Yeah, it worked.
Of course. Milwaukee.
Shoot. Champ, bro.
Alright, inspect it one by one. Oh, you're gonna use a raw proper tool or you just gently tap?
Whoa. I like leaving the broad bolts on there so the piston just doesn't fly out.
You mean the nuts?
There we go. No, that's not bad.
Let me see, let me see.
Not bad at all, actually.
They've probably never been changed. So this probably car had maybe over 100,000.
Oh, over, yeah, for sure. Over.
Let's look at the crank. Crank looks
good.
amazing.
Yep, crank looks pretty good.
Usually a test is if you run a fingernail and see if it catches.
You got any, like,
Yeah.
significant scoring? Here.
So we can see.
Yeah, it's got wear, normal wear.
Yeah, somewhere. Gotta realize, but sidewall, piston scratches.
None. Looks good. There's no unusual, like, burn marks around the edges. There is a little bit of lube, a little bit of oil in there, but
We're gonna compare it to the one that's malfunctioned. So,
yeah.
well, the cylinder that's been funky. Better condition than the last one.
Another bearing in there.
Yeah, bearing's not that bad. Same thing, you know.
Much of a difference? It's just a very clean piston overall. Like,
I'm just checking. Yeah, it's freaking. Doesn't have any.
obvious, like, that
that.
piston is
Look at that
Yeah.
sucker. Looks freaking.
fresh.
Usually there'd be
Scratches?
scratches.
Yeah, but when they assembled it at the factory, they did a marvelous job.
Marvelous. If you look in this block right here, come right here. See these? See this code right here etched into the block. This gives you like what's the I believe this is the mains of the block, like the what bearings to buy, the clearances. So this is breaked up in the mains and the rods. When you buy like ACL or like King bearing, they're just they're a lot more looser to let more oil in, but for longevity wise, it's not the way to go. You want to go with stock bearings because it has better.
Less clearance.
Yeah. Can you turn it over? I want to look at the crank. Zoom into this bearing. So this is the second one. Right here is it's actually some pitting. I can actually catch it. Some pitting right here, and you can see like there's that shiny spot right there. Some more wear right there. But the pitting is mostly concern right there.
And that wasn't the clean piston, was it? No, that was one right next to it.
Yeah, that's one right next to it. So this is what a kind of a raise a concern. Let's go look at the crank to make sure. No, it looks good.
Here.
Okay. See anything?
No, it looks good.
No,
Looks
crank looks
to me.
good. Hey, needed a refresh anyway. So we're gonna take the last one out and inspect that one. And then we will go and I'm gonna measure the bore so we know what pistons to purchase. And then we'll get this cleaned up and start our China build. On this episode,
Dude, did you get that bolt
we
in
installed
from Joel,
mouse.
seriously?